I know there's some debate out there that that this may not be true, but I don't believe it. I believe that once it hits the trades, it's almost impossible to reverse that ship, and that this is the real thing. I believe that, and once that struck, I realized that we now have a bookend, and the Kathleen Kennedy era was from 2012 to 2025, and we can say that now. And as such, now we know what happened. We know the story, and I thought it was a good idea to take a retrospective, a look back, a post-mortem, an autopsy of this disaster, really.
It has been, yes,
of the franchise.
Yeah, and I don't want to. Cameron's not going to be able to be here tonight. I did invite him, but he's not going to be able to be here tonight. But he actually just posted, like at 7:00 as we were going live, a article on his Patreon, which I'm not going to share his Patreon posts because that's on his Patreon, except for the fact, the opening statement here that is said on this that he just posted, which directly addresses what you just talked about, Doug. He posted a Patreon post that says why Kathleen Kennedy cannot defeat the trades. And he says many people in the fandom and on this Patreon are treating the trade announcements that Kathleen Kennedy is retiring as some kind of small event. We've seen this before, they say. We have not, Cameron says. The top trades, including Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, have never before, in capital letters, never before, said Kennedy is out, nor have they run articles listing candidates for her successor. This is a watershed event because you can't go against the Hollywood trades or the whole system collapses. There's a lot more that he writes on his Patreon, but that's a directly addressing that situation that you've heard this before? No, she might be going, because yes, that's been talked about on YouTube a lot. Oh, she's out. She's going to be out. We've been hearing that. That's a favorite YouTube clickbait title for the past, I don't know how many years.
Because it's conjecture. In the past it was mostly minor, the ecosystem. You have the legacy media, which in this case is Deadline, The Hollywood Reporter, and Variety. I would say those are the three major legacy media outlets for Hollywood. And then below that, you get all these different tiers of insider, semi-insider, minor media. You've got Collider and Polygon and IGN and it's Ain't It Cool, new, whatever. All these other minor things that are and so sometimes, and then you got YouTubers, anyone, people coming out who have various levels of expertise or connections coming out and discussing this. And what has happened over the last 15 years is that large companies and groups use minor and mid and high systems, different various systems, to leak information out and get rumors started, to counter a rumor with another rumor, all sorts of different things. We've seen how many fake announcements out of Lucasfilm, for example. Announcement like the Taika Waititi movie or the Rian Johnson trilogy or Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron. Lando was going to be a show that was going to come out, and all these things, and they just quietly, they never get made. So there is a system at work. That's what I believe Cameron's referring to, the system at work. And in the past, all the other comments about Kathleen Kennedy's departure came from the lower tiers of this media conglomerate, YouTubers and maybe smaller media outlets saying we've heard. But the trades never touch those things. The trades never touch them because it's all conjecture that people would speculate. There's a reason why she would leave. It's believable. She just blew up the trilogy in 2019, and and then Indiana Jones was a flop, and then all sorts of different things. So suddenly the trades say it, and we didn't actually get any rumors even started in the lower tiers. So this was the trades lead off with Kennedy's imminent departure. So that is different. That's not something. That's the official narrative industry at this point, and so it is. I believe it. I believe that's good as gold at this point. So, and that's what we're here to talk about. That's my reasoning for thinking, how I understand what's going on and why this postmortem is going to be great to crawl through this again.